A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation.
It's time to go road course racing once more with the Venom Truck Series. This time it's a series first. We return to Italy, but we're not on the oval this time. It is the 9-turn single chicane variant of the Autodromo Nazionale Monza, home of the Gran Premio d'Italia for the Formula One cars. Tonight it hosts NASCAR trucks for round 13 of the 10th season of Venom. Welcome to Turn 200's coverage of the VTS. Tommy Cook, Matt Williamson here in virtual Northern Italy. Partner, I hope you've been brushing up on the local language. I'm not sure it would do us much good if we knew what we were doing anyway.
Yeah, I cannot say I've brushed up on any of the local language here. So, I mean, we're racing NASCAR around this track. I think we'll stick to the old English. How about you?
NASCAR is my love language. I'm just going to throw that out there. Anyway, we've got some points for you here. 3 rounds to go in the regular season, including tonight. And a couple of drivers will be close to locking in at the end of the night. One driver at the tippy top is really just a few points away tonight from being up in the green. But a lot of drivers will be hoping just to not finish last this evening. And other drivers are a lot closer to the bottom than they want to be.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, tonight could, if you make one mistake tonight, it could certainly set you back much more than you would hope. But no surprise, Matt Schlosser still atop the points. Sean Kay sits there in second. Brody Gunter has jumped up to third and will probably be looking to take over second potentially after tonight. We'll have to see how things play out, though. Andy Poliski, Chad Stearns tied for fourth. Josh Matichek, Zach Lockett are sixth and seventh. This is where it starts to really get interesting. Andy Ducato only 17 points to the good. Jan Van Leer is tied with Andy with 17 points to the good as well. Garrett Rainey only plus 10. And then you go to Josh Freed, 10 behind Garrett. And then Paul Ellison, Kyle Zittel, 27 and 29 back. Austin Holyfield, Steve Roman rounding out your top 15 there. I mean, for those bottom 3 that are currently inside the cut line, it is very, very tight. You cannot make any mistakes.
And that number was bigger last week. They all lost to the cut line. Garrett Rainey and Josh Freed both did a nice job last week. I think Freed literally gained 1 point on Garrett Rainey after it was all said and done. So we will see who has got what it takes to conquer Monza Now, normally it is about 3.6 miles and 12 turns. We've cut 3 of those turns out with the first chicane being gone out of this layout. Of course, we're in the country shaped like a boot, so you might as well put it on a circuit that looks like a crew sock. With no first chicane, very long, flat front straightaway, these drivers are going to be hauling the mail into turn number 1. Speeds excess of 180 miles an hour. After the completion of lap number 1, we expect these drivers to be barreling towards the first turn. Biasano? I don't know. That's the one I'm not very confident about. The rest of these turns, the second chicane, Curva de Lesmo, and of course, Variante Ascari, and the Parabolica, the big sweeping right-hander to close things out. 50 laps here tonight. This is going to be a long one, and every single corner is ripe with opportunity to wipe out a chase contending driver. It is time to get after it here tonight in northern Italy. Our first points-paying adventure to Monza. And starting on the pole position, I mean, do I even have to say it? His third Tech Tape pole award of the season. It's Brody Gunter. Of course it is. Why would it not be? He absolutely smokes the field in qualifying by a few tenths of a second. Andy Poliski, though, good road course guy. Should Gunter find his way off the track or make some sort of fatal error, Poliski will be right here to capitalize. So could Matt Schlosser and Jan Van Leer, both very capable road course racers on their own. Schlosser 2 times the road course winner in the Venom Truck Series. John Kay has an EOL penalty to start this race, so he will not line up in the 5th position. Joshua Matacek will be on the outside of row number 3, a podium finisher a few weeks ago at Portland. Row 4, Lucas Carver and Paul Ellison fighting for the podium last week for driver 55. He'll start in 8th. He's got a road course victory in the Venom Truck Series. Zach Lockett and Hayden Palumbo round out your top 10 starters. Austin Holyfield and Chad Stearns will start on row number 6. Steve Roman and Kyle Zittel. That 3rd place finish last week, a season best for Zittel. He'll start in the 14th spot. The Rutherfords find their way together on row number 8. It's Joshua on the inside of Corey. Garrett Rainey back there in 17th. Brantley Gainey to his outside. The meme team there together on row number 9. Josh Freed and Jordan Journeau round out your top 20 starters. Gary Clark, Andy Ducato very close to the cut line. He struggled at Portland. He'll look for a better run here tonight. Jack Watts just off the graphic, but he is in playoff contention as well. He'll start in 23rd. Mark Ossier and Tyler Berger. 25 drivers for 50 laps here tonight at Monza. What are the weather conditions and what are the strategy notes, if you have any at all?
Yeah, first of all, looking at the weather, 99 degrees is the track temperature. So, I mean, it's pretty warm, not super hot, though. It's overcast right now, so should the sun come out, could affect the track temperature a little bit here. I mean, to me, first and foremost, you need to survive turn number 1. Everybody is going to be barreling into a turn that you can pretty much take at 170 miles an hour all the way around. You have to survive that to even give yourself a shot at a decent finish here tonight. I mean, to me, that's strategy note number 1. Maybe nothing more important than that here tonight. And then you can let the chips fall as they may. We're going to be looking at, should just be 1 pit stop here tonight, I do believe. Probably going to take that right in the middle of the run. Other than that, try and keep the tires underneath of you if you can, and stay away from the debris on the racetrack.
Green flag is out. We are racing at Monza. Andy Poliski will beat Gunter to the line, and Gunter will be on the chase headed into turn number 1. Up through the gears they go into Biasano. The first turn in the circuit here this evening, right-hander, speeds of only 160 miles an hour, not quite flat out on the cold tires. Carver loses some ground, headed down the short chute here into the second chicane as Carver has to roll out of it under braking. He's going to be sending it hot, a little too hot.
Oh, Schlosser, a bunch of people over the curbing.
Several drivers locking and spinning. Brantley Gainey gets turned by Corey Rutherford.
Gunter now looking for the lead, and he's got it.
He has got it into Curva de Lesmo. And Schlosser, the door is still open underneath of Andy Poliski. They'll go side by side, exactly what Gunter wants to see. Maybe not. Gunter drops his left sides in the grass. And here we go. 4 abreast for the lead headed into Ascari.
Oh, no! Schlosser gets turned. Oh, my goodness.
Into Poliski. Jan van Leer is going to escape. So will Gunter, but Poliski. Oh, dear. Quickly over the radio, Poliski taking responsibility as Schlosser and Poliski will definitely have heavy repairs here.
Yeah, Schlosser's basically pulling over here.
Yeah, we just talked about maybe Schlosser less so than Poliski. That is not what Poliski needed.
I mean, good news for them. They're pretty high up in the points. I mean, they're 2 drivers that are, pretty much to the good here with just a couple races left. But, I mean, you certainly don't want to put yourself in a position where you're putting yourself in a position where you really have to perform well the next couple of races.
Wasser limps his car back to pit road. No required repairs for Andy Poliski. He's still out on the track, but he has slid down to 18th. Brady Gunter leads the opening lap. A narrow escape for him, and even narrower escape for Jan van Leer, who rides in second. Joshua Maticek is now up to third. Lockett and Holyfield, the top 5. As soon as things spread out a little bit more, we'll take a look at that. But there's still plenty of opportunity for overtaking here for the first couple of laps before these drivers will turn to strategy, as Brody Gunter was a bit wide there through Parabolica, or rather Curva de Lesmo.
Yeah, and I mean, you'll see that this racetrack is littered with gravel and dirt and all sorts of things already. I mean, that's just from drivers dipping tires off and, spewing the debris onto the racetrack. I mean, that stuff is very slick. You have to really be careful when you're in that. I mean, look at this. This is where Schlosser and Poliski had their problems. Lucas Carver and Kyle Zittel make their way through there. I mean, there is just dirt and sand all over the racetrack there.
How fitting is it that the, I guess the wimpiest turn on the entire course, Curva Saraglio, barely a turn, and it takes out 2 of the top 5 runners immediately.
I mean, at the top of the broadcast, we talked about turn 1 so heavily, and it ends up being, like you said, maybe the most tame turn on the circuit. That's what ends up claiming a couple drivers here.
Gunther continues to lead. I mean, he was 0.8 of a second faster than Jan van Leer, even with a couple slip-ups through Delesmo last time around. Hello to Nathan Carroll, Eric Breeding, Bailey Maticek, Robin Maticek, and Joshua Rutherford for hanging out with us here tonight. So all I ask from Eric Breeding is maybe a little deer salami.
Ooh.
Just a little.
Now we're talking.
Worth pointing out as well, Austin Holyfield in the 5th position needs a big point swing. He might get it. He just clocked the purple first sector. A 26.5. Sporty sector time there for driver 10.
Corey Rutherford was chasing down brother Joshua and ends up going through the chicane here. I think he's going to have to give some time back. He somehow got in front of a couple of drivers there, and yeah, now he's going to have to give the time up.
Yeah, so he will give up the spot. Worth pointing out as well, John Kay up to the 15th position already after having to start at the tail of this field.
Here's John Kay with Josh Freed in tow. Freed really looking for a good night here tonight.
And the man that Freed has got his eyes on, he's right in front of him, Garrett Rainey. He needs to outpoint driver 13. Rainey and Freed are both driving incredibly well in the back half of this season. It's a shame that seemingly only one of them is going to get a postseason berth right now because they are both on it.
Freed tried to kind of fake a move to the inside there, but Rainey stays strong.
All right, things have spread out enough, I think. We'll bail out if we have to here, but let's take a look at that incident between Schlosser and Poliski as they were going for the lead.
Yeah, it started there already. Let's just back it up a touch. I mean, it's really started because of Gunter's slip up here out of this right-hander. He got off into the gravel there and had to check up. Got super loose. That allowed everybody to come together here. And then Andy just tags that left rear of Schlosser. And Schlosser goes flying into the outside wall and then back into Poliski. And then, of course, Poliski tried to save it, but unfortunately he found himself in the wall yet again. Let's go back one more here, and we'll take a look at Poliski's run and then his contact with Schlosser. So this is Gunter getting through on Poliski. And Gunter is going to dip a tire off here. Slows way down. Poliski has this huge run with Schlosser on his inside, so couldn't really go anywhere with it. And then Poliski just nudges out to the outside, tags Schlosser, and that was, I don't want to say it's all she wrote for Poliski, because he's still kind of holding his own here in 17th, but certainly a lot of damage there to the 32. And unfortunately, Schlosser, who was one of the favorites for a podium here tonight, was taken out.
And we were just watching Josh Freed before we went to that replay. Unfortunately, he got tangled up with Jack Watts into the chicane. And both of those drivers are plummeted through the running order now. Freed running down in the 22nd position. Watts, or rather down in 23rd. Watts running in 21st. But further contact on the way by for Brantley Gainey. And Gainey.
Oh, contact between
John Kay
and Rutherford as well. It's Corey.
Brantley Gainey almost got Dukes of Hazzards by Tyler Bergert into a scarring as well. So it was quite the eventful circuit there for Brantley Gainey. It was picked up 3 spots just by kind of hanging out on the track. Oh, Joshua Rutherford is wide through Delismo.
And to Nathan Carroll's point, I thought that was going to be a track blocker. I mean, it was pretty, like he says in the chat, pretty lucky that they didn't end up broadsided across the racetrack. Because, I mean, that could have been absolutely, just a really unfortunate incident. But just a couple taken out there. Everybody was able to get through on the right-hand side of the racetrack.
I mean, not a guarantee that Brody Gunter is going to walk away with this. Because, before last season, we'd seen this song and dance multiple times where he had an astute lead and was wiped out in lap traffic or lagged out of the race or yada yada. But since last season, he's gone undefeated on the road courses. But it would have been very fitting if 2nd to 25th all crashed on the first lap. We could have ended the race early, given Brody the win, and had a race off of pit road for 2nd on back.
Hayden Palumbo to the inside of Holyfield there in turn number 1, and Palumbo is able to get through to the top 5. He's got some, I don't know, maybe he's gone through all of them already, but he should have some Louisiana-style kitchen-cooked chips fueling him tonight. So
I would have gone through them already.
I probably would have too. You got sent 3 bags, but those are too dangerous to go through. You could go through one in a night.
Amen to that.
Here's another move. This is Kyle Zittel getting through on Steve Roman.
Not sure if it caught on the broadcast, but John Kay was let through by Corey Rutherford into the 2nd chicane, a.k.a. the 1st chicane for our purposes tonight.
Yeah, John was really hounding Corey, and after the contact, Corey might have just thought it's better to let him through and not run the risk of getting run off the racetrack.
And I think that is good thinking.
Let's see if we can take a quick look at the incident for Freed and Watts here. As Watts is going to take a look to the inside. Oh, and just it gets a little bit too hot into the corner. I mean, that is a really, really tough spot. I mean, look at how, and then Gainey runs into Freed there as well. I mean, if you look at how tight that entry is on that corner, I mean, it is almost impossible to be side by side through that entry into that chicane.
We just had an incident for Andy Poliski. Him and Mark Ossier got together, and I think it maybe meatballed Poliski, and he brought it onto pit road and was way too fast entering. So Poliski's no good, very bad night. Continues to get worse. Well, one of the great ironies of the evening is that our only international race in the Venom Truck Series this season is on Veterans Day. But if you may have noticed already, quite a few veteran schemes out here on the track this evening. A lot of veteran drivers in the Venom Truck Series as well. We thank everybody that has served or is continuing to serve in the United States Armed Forces.
Got a little battle for a podium position going on here between Lockett and Matacek. Lockett has been very quick in both practice and qualifying. Is trying to run down the 60 here.
Lockett is a sneaky good road course racer according to the statistics. Unfortunately for him, he ran afoul of me at Portland. Probably the only reason he didn't get a good finish, but that's one of the outliers. I'm going to check both, you know. Think of them as the short oval ringers. Good on the super speedways, but they're battling for third here on the road course.
Lockett got right up to the bumper of Matacek just about a lap ago. Matacek has been able to pull a bit of a gap and keep a fairly comfortable distance away from Lockett for now. Meanwhile, behind them, Chad Stearns has been kind of rubber banding back and forth from the bumper to a few car lengths back on Paul Ellison. This is a battle for 7th.
Back around Parabolica they go. Stearns will have a good opportunity here into turn number 1 with a little bit of a tow. Whereas Matacek has the position for now into the first turn. If he doesn't overshoot it. Anybody that races open wheel here knows that you could just crack the throttle into turn number 1. And the temptation is there. You can't do it in this truck. Don't even try. Seven-second lead for Brody Gunter over a driver that we've not really mentioned all that much, Jan Van Leer. Talked about him fading closer to the cut line. Man, what a night it would be. This would really help to shore up a postseason berth that he was very disappointed to not get last season. But he rides in second. Monacek has been able to pull back away from Lockett by a few truck lengths. Palumbo riding in the top 5. He's pulled away from Austin Holyfield. He rides at 6th. Ellison in 7th. Stearns still in 8th. Carver and Zittel, the top 10. Good follow-up runs for Ellison and Zittel as they try for long shot bids into the postseason. Ellison in particular has been strong. He's missed multiple races this season and is still in the fight to make it to the final 5. Lockett hanging tough here with Monacek into the second chicane. Really should just call this the second chicane because that's the corner name in Italian is literally second chicane. Even though we're not running the first chicane tonight, it is still the second chicane.
I mean, yeah, by name, you can't change the name just because we took the first one out.
Yeah, just crinkle your hand up and puff your chest out, and there you go. You're saying it in Italian, but in English. Here is John Kay going to work on Steve Roman. Sorry to our Italian viewers out there. That was probably offensive.
Kay has been pretty aggressive here. He's going to get aggressive again on Vroman and is able to make it stick. I think Vroman gave him a little bit of room there, but still pretty tight there for the two to get through.
Down to 70 miles an hour through Ascari and back on the button down the straight to Parabolica. Into the 160s into the braking zone. Okay, remember, qualified 5th, but had the EOL penalty after turning Paul Ellison last week. Right at the start of the race in Kansas. It didn't matter for either of them because they both finished in the top 5. But Kate gets the penalty regardless.
Yeah, Kate told
making a drive.
Kate told me throughout the week that he was just trying to make it interesting for the broadcast, supposedly.
Well, it is interesting. What do you think of the little guy, you know?
I take it we're the little guy?
Yeah, I think so.
That's fair.
Well, Lockett has not been able to make any ground on Monacek, but it is go time for the 93 because he's got Hayden Palumbo right behind him.
I mean, all of these drivers up a few positions. Palumbo has been on it. Still a long ways to go in this race.
Yeah, this is going to be a long one. 20% distance took us 19 minutes. So do the math. With at least one pit stop in there. I think we're close on the fuel number to get to halfway, but I don't think there's any shame in a 2-stop race here for tires, knowing you're not going to get a caution.
I mean, we're looking at about an hour and 25 minutes or so here.
Yippee.
That is a long race on a road course for these drivers.
Yes, it is. Mentally tough. As Palumbo's through to 4th.
Palumbo gets through, and here comes Chad Stearns. I mean, we've been following this battle for a while. As one driver dipped a couple of tires off there. I think that was Lockett. But Stearns has pulled up to the back of Paul a couple of times, and now he's going to have a good opportunity.
Stearns through to 7th. As just about everybody has gone into the gravel, into Delesmo this time around. Not sure what the deal is there. Other than these tires are probably not feeling great.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is, we're going to start to get to this point where, under braking, there's some heavy braking zones on this racetrack, and if you abuse the tires, they are not going to be kind back to you, especially when we get further on in this run.
Brody Gunter had an off track last time around. Was a little bit slower than Jan Van Leer. This time, Jan Van Leer is about 0.8 of a second off of Gunter's pace. So nothing to fret about right now for the L1 camp.
Speaking of the 0-1, really haven't shown him on the broadcast much because everything has been going on behind him. But here is a look at Brody Gunter and his car inside camera. And it looks like Steve Roman's coming down pit road.
Steve Roman is coming down pit road as Andy Ducato is crashed around Delesmo.
Sure, a pretty nonchalant conversation happening for Brody Gunter right about now.
Talking to the Rutherford boys who are just outside of the top 10. And we'll be talking to Sam Baumgarten as well, who hasn't taken to the grid in a while. Oh, Sam's not even in the chat tonight, so there you go. But talking to the Rutherford boys regardless. Ooh, Jack Watts has disconnected. And that is no good for Watts.
Yeah, that was
another fringe playoff driver.
Interesting. I'm not seeing any... I mean, I see where he jumped to the pits. I'm not seeing any incident here for the 77.
I believe he spun out, but he didn't hit anything, so maybe just out of frustration, which could totally understand. Kyle Zittel is down pit road here from 11th.
So remember what we spoke about earlier in this race? It appears this is going to be probably a two-stop race. I'm assuming some of these drivers maybe abused their tires a little more than they would have liked to. Coming in to make a change, they'll be able to stretch it a little bit further here in their next couple of runs, I would think. But some of the drivers feeling like they've roasted the tires at this point.
So I don't get live incident totals. But if anybody wants to put the over-under in the chat on what the field incident total is at the end of the night, give it a shot.
I mean, if you need any help, I would imagine off-tracks alone are going to be quite the problem, as there is an off-track right there. I believe that was Gary Clark, and it was. I think he's pulling over to let everybody through there in a tight portion of the racetrack.
I mean, around Curva de Lesmo and Ascari, it literally looks like there's snow on the ground. That's just how much gravel there is off in the grass.
There was already some there pretty much before we started the race, and now it is certainly peppered even more.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
Here's a look at Lucas Carver here, who is looking to run down Paul Ellison now as well.
John Kane pitting from 10th. And keeping an eye on the drivers that have come down pit road already, Kyle Zittel and Steve Roman. They, I believe, are in 17th and 18th. So we'll see where K comes out relative to them. As K had just passed Zittel before Zittel came down pit road. Zittel and K should be pretty close here headed into turn number 1. Zittel at full stong, already up over 170 miles an hour. But he's going to come in several truck lengths behind John K. So advantage K on the overcut. That will get him out to 16th.
I mean,
certainly his eyes are a little bit further forward
whoa,
at this point.
he has an off track there. He goes a little bit too deep. As to Corrala goes over the curbing.
Here's Zittel. Trying to ease these tires into their workload here, and that's not the optimal way to do it. If he can survive DeLesmo. Paul Ellison is in from 9th to try and cover off John Kay, I would imagine. As before that, I would imagine Kay's eyes were already set up the order a little bit. I mean, he blasted through the field.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned earlier, qualified fifth. I think he's probably trying to get a lot out of these tires on this first lap to try and maybe gain a lot of ground on this pit strategy, but unfortunately, kind of set himself back a little bit there.
Corey Rutherford is also down pit road. Slip up for Hayden Palumbo, and Zach Lockett is going to go on the attack here around DeLesmo. Austin Holyfield is right here to try and take advantage of these two tangle. This is a precarious position to be in, breaking up the hill into a blind left-hander, into Ascari. Lots of curbing and a turtle there for good measure for Palumbo.
Yeah, Palumbo took flight there for a moment.
If you can nail the right-hander in that, though, you can punch that throttle around the left and set yourself up very nicely down the long straight into Curva Parabolica.
Now Holyfield's the one on the attack, but he also has Chad Stearns to worry about behind.
Riding the train in Monza. Are any of these drivers going to come down pit road? Yes. Palumbo is in. So is Zach Lockett. Leaves Holyfield and Stearns out. Paul Ellison out ahead of John Kay to the tune of 9.5 seconds. They've got Jordan Journeau sandwiched in between them. I guess sandwich isn't the right term because they've got a whole bunch of track between them. Not sure if we've said hello to Lisa Kelly yet. Cheer it on Tyler Burgert. Burgert running inside the top 20 at the moment. It's been a quiet night for the 44, and you know what? Quiet is good at the road course.
Holyfield dipped a tire off there on the left-hand side, but Chad Stearns thought better of trying to force the issue there. Had just a little bit of daylight on the inside, but probably a smart decision to maybe wait and take another look at some point. Also, should have pit stops coming up for these two here pretty soon as well.
Mark Ossier is down pit road. Yeah, I would imagine that they are going to be working on covering off the drivers that they were just racing with. Is Holyfield up on the right side tires in the left-hand turn. Stearns gets the better run out of Ascari.
You see Carver not too far behind. Carver making up a lot of ground on Holyfield now as well.
Carver, that one big snap oversteer on the first lap, ended up getting overshadowed a little bit.
Let's see.
Monacek coming in. Stearns staying out. Nope. Stearns is coming in. Holyfield is in. Carver's in.
And
the whole gang is here.
Yeah, that's going to be just a few drivers left now to take their pit stop. There should be.
I mean, Gunter is 10 seconds clear of Jan Van Leer. Jan Van Leer had a similar margin back to Joshua Monacek. So nothing for those two to worry about at the moment. They're both looking pretty comfortable.
Corey Rutherford on fresher tires just got through on Tyler Burgert. Here comes Jan. Take a look at
Joshua Monacek, also Brantley Gainey, still out there to make a pit stop.
And Paul Ellison blasts around Holyfield there into turn number 1. So Ellison's pit stop really paid off here, it looks like.
Yeah, it is definitely going to put him in the mix.
Yeah, it's a question of how well can those 2-lap older tires stand up to the fresher tires in the long run, especially here.
Boy, look at this jam around Delismo.
That's Andy Ducato going a lap down.
And Brantley Gainey as well on older tires. Brady Gunter and Jan Van Leer have gone past pit road once again.
Matacek and Rainey are battling.
Problem for Austin Holyfield. Into Ascari, he is dropped outside of the top 10. Let's see exactly what happened there.
Yeah, let's take a look real quick. Oh, looks like a little bit too hot in there. Also had Gainey just in front, maybe backing up the corner just a little bit more than Holyfield would have liked. Holyfield had to get on the binders real hard, got off the racetrack there. Now Gainey is under fire once again, this time from Zach Lockett, and Lockett will go through.
So still awaiting pit stops from your top 2, Brady Gunter and Jan Van Leer. Joshua Rutherford in 4th, as here comes the race leader. Very reserved. You can understand that. Gunter with nothing to gain by pushing it on pit road.
Yeah, no reason to make any silly mistakes there. Getting a little bit wiser in that department, I would say.
There's Jan in from second. Joshua Rutherford will be next up. Rutherford is under fire here from Hayden Palumbo into Ascari. This is for 4th. Joshua wide, leaving plenty of room over the Turtles, though. That will put a little hitch in the giddy up of Chad Stearns as well. But Stearns is through. Rutherford, Brantley Gainey, Tyler Bergert, Andy Ducato. The only other drivers that have yet to come down for their first stop of the day. Joshua says he's pitting this time. And Brantley Gainey hanging to the right side around Parabolica as well. Gainey coming down pit road. This will just about wrap up the green flag pit cycle. As soon as Bergert makes his way down. 11-second lead for Brody Gunter at the front of the field over Jan Van Leer. Matacek in 3rd, Palumbo in 4th, Stearns in 5th. Problem for Jordan Jorneau, parked across the track in, I believe, Ascari.
So here comes Joshua Rutherford. And he'll cycle in just outside the top 15.
A lot more good in those Eagles.
I'll tell you somebody who doesn't have pretty much any good left in those Eagles, and that is Berger, who is still yet to come down pit road.
Yep. He's definitely getting a lot of bang for his buck here. That's for sure. Lots of shipping costs tacked on for the Venom Truck Series whenever they go across the way. And they got to load up and go to Phoenix next week. And not only that, not just going back to the United States, they're going back in time next week to 2008. Classic Phoenix next week for the Venom Truck Series. Excited for that one. Ellison, Carver, Lockett, nose to tail here.
And Bergert finally makes his way down pit road.
Stern's getting closer to Palumbo once again, so 4th and 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, all doing battle with one another. As
Look at this. Carver taking a look to the inside of Ellison. And takes it. With authority. Carver to 6th. Now Zach Lockett will look to do the same.
Ellison maybe just managing a little bit more. Still 29 laps to go. And one more pit stop. Ellison looking a little loose there into the first turn. But is going to drive it deeper here into the second chicane. And Andy Ducato will officially complete the pit cycle. Meanwhile, Lucas Carver in front of Ellison, all 4 tires off into the gravel. He was on the slide for life, and he backs right up to Ellison and Lockett.
Yeah, you get to see him still wiggling about even after he got back on the racetrack. A lot of debris on those tires trying to get him shaken off.
Yeah, get those puppies clean. Headed into Viscara. He's out broke here by Ellison. But Carver able to get on the throttle a little bit quicker and get away. Oh, issue for Mark Ossier into the first chicane, or rather the second chicane. He is around in the runoff area, but will pull it off with not much going on behind him. Brady Gunter, I believe, is lapped up to the 17th position. On a 3.5 mile long track, that's no small task. We got Schlosser and Poliski in the chat. We got Cole Maxwell in the chat as well. I'm thinking of you, buddy. We'll hope to have you back here soon. I could go for, I'm not the biggest spaghetti and meatball fan. Doesn't sound half bad right now.
I mean, when in Rome, right?
Well, we're probably about 1,000 miles away from Rome. But sure. When in Italy.
So Lockett's
heating up here.
Lockett's through on Ellison. Now Palumbo and Stearns battling for 4th. Oh, Palumbo looks to the inside, goes off into the
Wow.
grass.
And he'll get a slowdown for that, but it's not going to matter. He is way slow around the outside of Parabolica. And through goes... Was that a lap track? Yeah, it's Josh Freed. So, won't lose any positions, but boy, he lost 2.5 seconds, if not more, just on that exchange alone.
Boy, that was a hell of a send. Does not end up working out for the 50, or excuse me, for the 35.
Freed wide into the first turn. Here's Carver now closing in on Palumbo. These two drivers are battling their trucks. Neither of them look particularly planted right now. As, oh, Carver has to lock it up, not to bury it in the back of the 35. Palumbo trying to take advantage and scoot away. Carver's got Ascari figured out. He has good drive off. Might be able to close in another car length or two. Headed to Parabolica. By the way, Monza to Rome, exactly 400 miles, not quite 1,000. So I apologize for the misinformation. Oh, Carver's long and has to whoa up hard. Advantage Palumbo here. You mentioned it earlier, you have to slow way down, a lot more than you think, inside of 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know, it's kind of deceiving. Like, when you're going in there, you feel like, oh man, I'm too slow here, I need to carry more speed, and then all of a sudden that left-hander gets to you, and it is a slow corner. I mean, it is, it's tough to negotiate for sure.
You know, these drivers, if any of them have watched Formula One here, this is the fastest or second fastest F1 track behind Las Vegas, maybe. But they had not much downforce on this truck. You know, that's all I'll say.
Certainly not.
Carver again, good exit out of Ascari. Under braking, though, is really loose.
Oh, he's sending it in there. Nearly makes contact with the bumper.
Palumbo with a good exit out of Parabolica, but I mean, Carver's going to be able to get the tow here down the straight. Just where can he go with it? $185 miles an hour. 187 before he gets on the brakes. And Carver just, that truck is leaking out from underneath of him, with no air getting to the front of it.
Whoa, man, look at how loose that truck got. You could see it in the car inside camera, the wheel input from Carver there.
It's worth pointing out for some of our early pitters, if they decide to go that same stint length again, they're going to be coming in 3 laps.
Yeah, and they can make it all the way to the end if they do come in 3 laps as well. I mean, they've been putting a lot more stress on that set of tires, but they can make it should they choose to do so.
That sounds like a miserable time to me.
Yeah, I would imagine they're going to want to try and stretch this set out a little bit further and then have maybe, 18, 19 laps till the end would probably be preferred with as early as some of those drivers came in.
You know what? I'm going to say it. Are you ready?
What's this?
I'm disappointed
Oh,
in us.
In us?
We're in a Formula One track, and we haven't said box at any point today. That's a thing that we say playing other games.
That's a thing we just say in general, really.
Yeah.
Box.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get one in there.
Well, Carver, I mean, he has been all over the 35. No slip-ups here from Palumbo, though. While this has been going on, Austin Holyfield has caught up to the back of Ellison, but really hasn't had an opportunity to make a move here yet. Should also note, John Kay continues to make time up on these two. Kay came out like 9 seconds behind Ellison and is up to about 4 seconds behind now.
Carver's chomping at the bit through Parabolica here, and Palumbo is looking a little bit loose. Shade is falling over the Autodrome Nacional Monza. Even though he got a little bit loose, Palumbo's still able to maintain that gap down the straight.
The downshift early from Carver. I mean, the way that they run this into that first turn, they don't even have to brake. They just downshift into third, and it does the braking for them just enough where they can make it through there pretty much flat out still. Oh, Palumbo.
Whoa.
That was close. I think Carver had to back off to not get into the 35 there. Palumbo, pretty shallow entry. And then a slip up.
Wide.
Yeah.
I mean, these drivers are doing less driving and more kickboxing. I mean, these trucks are just slipping and sliding every which way.
Yeah, I mean, if you were watching the car inside camera there, I mean, you could see the disappointment from Carver there after he knew he made a mistake. He'd be working so hard right at the bumper of Palumbo for a number of laps, and then to make a slip up like that, that is certainly demoralizing to say the least. So no takers quite yet. But I'd say in the next 2 laps, we should be looking at a couple of pit stops here.
Well, let's get just a little quick run through the field here. Nothing has changed up front. Brody Gunter still leads by 18 seconds over Jan Van Leer, who is taken over second early. Joshua Monacek comfortably riding in third. Chad Stearns is pulled away in fourth from Hayden Palumbo in the fifth position. Palumbo still with Carver behind him. Carver again making time up on the 35 as he runs in sixth. Seventh for Zach Lockett at the moment. He's got Paul Ellison and Austin Holyfield not too far behind in eighth and ninth. John Kay rides in 10th. Zittel Vroman, Corey Rutherford, Joshua Rutherford, Garrett Rainey, the top 15. And then Mark Ossier, Brantley Gainey, and Tyler Bergert on the lead lap through 18th. Jordan Jorno, Josh Freed, 19th and 20th. Gary Clark, the last driver, running in the 21st position. Andy Ducato, Jack Watts, Andy Poliski, Matt Schlosser out of the race. Austin Holyfield's going to have a go here on Paul Ellison. Ellison wide through Parabolica. And the 10 truck is going to pull up. Holyfield's got a nose ahead, and he's got the preferred positioning. Ellison going to have to yield. Oh, but Holyfield into the grass and is going to open that door right back up for a crossover. He was trying to keep it right, and he kept it too right. And Ellison will survive. No, he's loose. Lots of curbing to go over there. He survives it, but this will allow Holyfield again to get ahead.
I point you to the chat for just an unbelievable message from your sponsors.
Kyle Zittel, I'm sure, will be quick on the button there to penalize Brody Gunter a lap just for fun. He's threatened to do it before.
I mean, like you mentioned earlier, Gunter has been in these positions previously, and things have happened where they have, the tables have turned. So, I mean, Gunter, although he obviously has the pace, can't let the brain wander too much here.
Yeah, for Gunter, twice at the Glen, he's had races taken from him, once from internet, once from crossing lap traffic. Once at Road America, it was more his fault than anything, was overdriving the truck. The truck just couldn't survive it. But got wins at the Glen and at Daytona Road Course last season. And picked off Portland this season as well. He's got 3 in a row.
I'm sure everybody remembers watching that entire Daytona race.
Whoops. They listened to most of it. Curse iRacing in their Tuesday updates. That's all I got to say about that.
Don't they know that that's Venom Night in America?
Exactly. Or Italy.
Oh, Holyfield dips a couple tires off. Look at this. John Kay came out of nowhere.
It's a 3-truck dance here, headed to Ascari.
Ellison and
Kay
Kay.
Gonna lose them both.
Yeah, both through on Holyfield here. Be curious if there's a pit stop coming for any of these drivers. Whoa!
There's a pit stop for Brantley Gainey, who was one of the last drivers on the pit road in the last cycle. This time he's the first one on.
No takers this time for this group.
Aiden Palumbo catching up to Chad Stearns now. And I think worth pointing out, these drivers are all catching up to Jan Van Leer a little bit. 3 1/4 seconds between Jan and Joshua Matacek at the moment. So we'll have to see what Jan has got tucked away here to try and make sure he can hang on to this second spot. A little lockup from Stearns through Ascari, and Palumbo is going to pounce.
Bit of a slip up for Ellison there, too. John Kay will have a run. We'll watch both of these.
Oh, God, Italian. There we go. Here's Palumbo around the outside.
Oh! And John Kay will have the advantage. So Palumbo threw on Stearns. John Kay picks up 2 positions in the last 2 laps. Shout out to Hunter Leach in the chat as well. And here comes John Kay. I was wondering when this one would come.
Just like last time, picks off a spot in Kyle Zittel and comes down pit road this time, gets Ellison and Holyfield, and then will make the move down pit road.
This time he's going to have to be a little more careful on the out lap, but as long as that is clean, should have a good run to the finish here.
Kyle Zittel also down pit road, speaking of which.
So it is open now.
Oh, the words of the Italian language escaping my mouth like my poor lost meatball rolling down the hill. Curva del Saraglio. Jesus.
Now, that is a man-sized meatball if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, it's the straight curve. We'll just call it that. Holyfield back to work on Ellison here. I would imagine both of these drivers are eyeing pit stops this time.
I mean, Ellison it came in pretty early as well. I think close to about the lap that John Kay had come in on that previous pit stop. So I would imagine Ellison for sure is eyeing one here.
Here comes Jan Van Leer and Joshua Matichek. Matichek has caught Van Leer. They are 2 truck lengths apart right now.
Yeah, and I mean
that was a huge gap.
Yeah, I mean, it was about 3 seconds just like maybe 3 laps ago.
And it was much more than that out of the last pit cycle where Jan was the second to last driver on pit road.
There's Chad Stearns. Holyfield is down. Ellison has stayed out. That's interesting.
Ellison still onto the track, so is Lockett, Carver, Palumbo, and Gunter up to the leader. So Jan has work to do. Back out onto the track he goes. Able to pull a bit of a gap back to Joshua Matichek on pit out. So that's good news for him.
Yeah, Matichek 5 seconds behind Jan Van Leer. Not a good stop
Hayden
there.
Palumbo way off in Curva de Lesmo, and Lucas Carver has caught him. That was like a 1.5 second gap, and it is down to 2 truck lengths now. Joshua Rutherford down pit road. Mark Ossier is down pit road.
I'm assuming we're going to see Palumbo down pit road here. It has been a long time since he came down the last. And he is struggling on this set of tires right now.
Palumbo and Carver. Carver are also struggling, to be fair.
Carver, I mean, got right to the bumper of Palumbo. Made up a bunch of time on entry there. Here comes Lockett and Ellison as well.
So that leaves Gunter out by himself. Corey Rutherford also has yet to make his stop. So is Tyler Bergert. Jan Van Leer back to second. And he is 4 seconds clear of Joshua Madacek. So,
Yeah, so
Jan able to pull a big gap out of the pits. But, man, that was shocking how quickly that developed against him.
Here comes Palumbo. Carver. Chad Stearns is going to roll through on Carver here. And we'll have a head of steam into turn number 1, but Palumbo will come out in front. And John Kay able to stay in front of Ellison and is able to pull maybe another couple of seconds on him there in the pit cycle.
I definitely wish we had a driver of the day vote as Brody Gunter is coming down pit road. I think the Attaboy Award of the night is definitely going to go to John Kay at the end of this one.
I mean, Johnny, you're not going to see it on the scoreboard because he qualified 5th, so that's where technically it starts him out, but I mean, he started in 25th on the night here and is up to 8th now. And is only 3 seconds behind Lockett, although Lockett has very, very good pace as well. John might still have an opportunity to make a couple more here.
Never say never. He sent me a Snapchat earlier this week of the Max Verstappen song, and he said, "This is how I'm going to have to drive at Monza." And I think he sent that before Max Verstappen went from last to second at Interlagos this weekend. So John Kay is on his Dutch BS. He's doing it. Was just watching Joshua Madacek. He was hanging it out. That thing almost came around as he was tucked in behind Mark Ossie around Curva Parabolica.
So, I mean, Madacek is he is really pushing it right now. He was 5.5 seconds behind Jan Van Leer when they came out of the pits. He is less than 4 seconds behind Jan now. So, I mean, he is putting in some heaters here.
I remember it was after the first set of pit stops that Madacek and Palumbo were together, and Hayden was looking to make a move on Joshua. He's 12 seconds past the 35 truck now. I mean, Madacek is on some heaters right now, to say the very least.
Was 7/10 quicker than Jan that last time around.
That is the good news for Jan. If Madacek is able to make this pass for second, in a few laps' time, he's got nothing to worry about to hang on to a podium. And Jan just needs good points to make it into the postseason.
A lot of personal best laps this last time around. Madacek had one, Stearns had one, and Austin Holyfield had one as well.
Waiting to see what the first sector time for Brody Gunter is going to be here. He is going to be on a very fast lap. And his first full lap around the track nearly ran into the back of Josh Freed at full speed. That was close. Well, Gunter, I don't think is showing off all that much. These are not even personal best sector times. I mean, they're the fastest on the track, don't get me wrong, but they're not. We're not going for the purple lap right now.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, he's 18 seconds out in front of Jan Van Leer. No reason to make any mistakes.
No hot dogging. Oh, Palumbo again, way off there around Delesville. And Chad Stearns closing in within a couple of car lengths here. Oh, just as I say no purple lap, how about purple lap? That was with 1 green sector and 1 purple sector. And that's good enough for the purple app.
That is... It looks like that's about
it's silly.
3/10 quicker than anybody else's personal best.
Yeah.
And he didn't even look like he was really pushing very hard.
No, he wasn't. You know, with our buddy Hunter in the chat, he's letting the club do the work, you know?
Oh. I mean, this is certainly a racetrack with a heavy truck like this. You gotta let the club do the work.
It's a lesson I've had drilled into my brain, but I will never learn.
Stern still trying to work on Palumbo here. These two have had their fair share of battling tonight. There's no doubt about it, as there's some trouble in the back. Carver is in the wall.
Oh, man. And that will take him from 6th down to 9th, maybe, if Ellison can get past. As there wasn't really anybody around Carver.
Yeah,
on the lead lap, anyway.
I saw Lockett come through, but I think the incident for Carver had happened already at that point. We'll go back and take a look here, but we'll pay attention to this battle between Palumbo and Stearns for a moment more. Those two very close together there.
Stearns out, breaking Palumbo into Parabolica. Palumbo just a bit wide there, but gets on the power earlier.
Stearns trying to get the toe. Get up to the bumper here into the first turn. Makes up a bit of time.
Oh, Brody Gunter off with contact. Got tangled up with Garrett Rainey and Joshua Rutherford. I mean, there were 3 trucks nose to tail. Garrett Rainey was trying to serve a slowdown penalty. And they all get tangled up together as Rainey slows down. I think Gunter is okay, but that was nearly a complete disaster, as now Ellison and Carver have gotten together in the second chicane.
My goodness.
It's all popping off here on lap 38.
We have a lot to look at here.
Good God.
I mean, that's 2 laps in a row that Carver has had trouble in that corner.
So Austin Holyfield now is up to 8th.
Let's take a look back at the first time Carver had trouble. Behind Gainey, and yeah, I mean, he just carries too much speed into it that time. So let's see what happens with Brody Gunter now. As Rainey slow on the racetrack. Joshua Rutherford, oh my. Gets into the back of Rainey and then was trying to keep control of the truck, but Gunter was coming with a lot of speed there. Let's take just one more look.
And we'll take a look at it here in a second. I do want to point out Chad Stearns has just crashed out of this race.
So here's Gunter coming off. Oh, yeah, I mean, he can't even really see Rainey in front of Rutherford there. And when Rutherford checks up, I mean, Gunter basically had no idea. And now let's look at this additional incident for Carver. Oh, and this is Carver again, just carrying too much speed, and Ellison follows him in there. No contact between the two. Ellison just followed Carver in with way too much speed to make the chicane. And now let's take a look at Chad Stearns. Stearns, oh, just, my goodness, absolutely sends it into Parabolica. I mean, completely missed the braking zone there.
I mean, he either missed it or lost the brakes entirely. That does rip the rear bumper cover off of the 35 truck, though, and this truck is suffering. Zach Lockett is sizing up a move on him right now.
I think we just took a look at the in-car there, and I think Stearns just kind of forgot what turn he was on. I mean, he grabbed fourth gear before he got to Parabolica, like he was headed into turn one.
Well, I can't say I haven't done that before, and a good job to, I mean, just bail it off at that point, but he does clip Palumbo. Palumbo's truck is hurting, and the Lockett is up to fourth. But Stearns is out of the race. Worth pointing out as well, Brody Gunter, not any discernible damage on that truck, surprisingly.
Yeah, that is very surprising. I mean, there was heavy contact there.
I mean, right in that area as well, there are a couple of Marshall's posts, you know, that have openings in the walls that you could easily, you know, hit an angled wall or hit an opening and just, you know, rip stuff off. So that's a narrow, lucky escape for the 0-1.
So John Kay now, was catching up to. Oh no, Palumbo's off.
There goes Palumbo, and that will box out Mark Ossier, and that's a 2-for-1 problem solved for John Kay into the top 5.
And Zach Lockett, he's about 3 seconds out in front of the two. So I mean, the gap between those two pretty much has stayed the same since John came off of pit road.
And speaking of gaps, Joshua Matichek is inside of a second behind Jan Van Leer with a lap truck in front of them. I believe that's Joshua Rutherford. So the battle for second is on. Inside of 10 to go.
Yeah, that's, I believe that's actually. Oh, you're right. My bad. I thought that was Corey for a second.
Oh, speaking of Corey, he has just crashed and is out of the race.
What in the world is going on here?
I mean, I think these drivers are fatigued. We are over the 1 hour mark in this race, coming up on an hour 15. I mean, in the last 5 laps, it has all happened.
Oh, and look at that.
There's Lockett is off and around. I think he'll be okay. But here's Jan Van Leer now to the inside of Joshua Rutherford.
So both drivers get around Rutherford pretty cleanly there.
Issue for Steve Vroman, but he's kept it out of the wall. So it should be good to go. What a mess.
Certainly. There's no doubt about it. Look at this wheel input for Matichek. I mean, he's dirt tracking it around turn 1. Quite fittingly, I should add.
Mm-hmm. Anybody's ever run a late model around Monza in real life?
If there was a man, it would be this one.
So Matichek has gotten to a second, gotten through some traffic. They do have the 8 of Gary Clark up the road, but after that, that should be the last truck last lap truck they encounter for the rest of the race.
Palumbo continuing to lose ground. Holyfield has caught nearly up to the back of the 35.
That's a bummer for Hayden. Seven laps to go. This has been quite the eventful race, to say the least. Here goes Holyfield as Palumbo's struggling for stability.
I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe the drivers thought that we were getting bored up here in the booth and needed to give us something to talk about, but they all they all pulled the trigger right around the same time.
JVL's been able to open this gap back up to more than a second. Amadacek still looms in the rear view. Lucas Carver threw on Hayden Palumbo. Carver up to 7th. Palumbo back to 8th. Palumbo's got 5 seconds back to Paul Ellison. But, I mean, he's running 147s and 148s to the field running 144s and 45s.
Yeah, I'm afraid.
Lockett, the fastest driver on the track last time around with a 143.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think Palumbo's going to fall outside the top 10 because Kyle Siddle in 10th is 24 seconds behind right now, but has certainly lost a lot of positions.
Amadacek, had just cut it to a truck length, but was awfully loose on the power there out of the second chicane. Only able to pull back away through Delesma.
Oh, and Madacek, tires off the racetrack, is going to have to mount the charge again.
Did anybody ever put the over-under number in the chat?
I don't believe so, but I can't even imagine what that number is now after all of this.
Say, I've got a fail-safe number that I'll throw out on the white flag if we need it. But we're looking for total incident points of the drivers through the entire field.
Madacek and Jan still the closest battle on the racetrack. The battle right behind them is just over a second. John still trying to track down Lockett. But Lockett still can't, he's got a lot of speed in that truck. He's wheeling it around very well. It's going to be tough for John to be able to get that position here with just 5 laps to go.
Lockett went from the fastest driver on track to the second slowest driver in the top 10. from one lap to the other. So there is hope. And there might be hope for Jan van Leer still, as Joshua Madicek's truck seems to be going away from him, particularly around the Delesma corners.
Yeah, I think this might just be a case of Madicek maybe putting a little too much stress on those tires early on in this run to even get to Jan van Leer. And now he has to slow down.
Shredding a little too much cheese off the wheel. The cheese wheel.
That's amore.
We'll be coming up on the 1.5 hour mark of this race. I'm sure these drivers are just ready for this to be done. None more so than Hayden Palumbo, who will have to hope against hope that he can fend off Paul Ellison here.
I don't think there's much of a choice here anymore.
No. So Ellison to 8th. Madicek again, dirt tracking at third to Lesbian, just cannot get the truck to stick, and now he is over 2 seconds behind Jan van Leer. Again, nothing to worry about form behind for either of these drivers. Well, I think a good news, bad news situation. Lucas Carver clocked the fastest purple sector, the sector number 1, the purple sector. But I think he did it by cutting through the track. But served to slow down, and he's still plenty clear of Paul Ellison. So all good there.
John Kay continues to scratch and claw his way up towards Lockett. Just about 8/10 is the gap now. But with only a couple laps remaining coming up, might be too little too late here for the two. Still opportunity, though. No doubt about it.
Well, before this heats up, I'm going to say 130.5.
That's it.
Tempting.
How many drivers? We got 25 drivers here tonight. I'm going to say 165.
Okay, so you're taking the over.
Oh, I'm taking the over, baby. By a large margin.
I'll take a slight under on yours then. Don't have long to wait.
I know somebody that just about eclipsed that on their own a couple years ago.
Whoops, I don't know who that would be. Yeah, I guess I'm taking the over. Thanks, Bailey. 129.
That's a very specific number. Did they give out partial incident points?
I don't think so. I hope not. Otherwise, the whole over-under system is broken in the first place. Oh, problems for Kyle Zittel. Through the second chicane, noses in and gives a spot to Steve Vroman into the top 10.
Only good news for Kyle Zittel. Joshua Rutherford is the next driver up. 46 seconds is the gap. So as long as Zittel can make 1 or 2 clean laps here, should have no problems finishing in 11th.
A lap and a half to go for Brody Gunter. A full 2 laps for John Kay, and Kay is 3/4 of a second behind Zach Lockett. He's so close. Matichek is faded to 3 seconds behind Jan Van Leer, so great run for JVL.
I'll tell you who's even closer now. Lucas Carver catching up to Austin Holyfield at a pretty fast clip.
Holyfield wants to match his season best. Oh, Carver with the greatest story, though.
Oh, and Holyfield off into the grass.
Carver up to 6th as Brody Gunter will take the white flag one more time around. Lockett was able to put some distance between him and Kay. Jan says he was sweating. I think they're all sweating. Hate to say it.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Holyfield going to try and fire back here on Lucas Carver on the final lap. We'll keep our eyes on that. But only one more corner to go for Brody Gunter, who has not gotten much TV time here tonight. Wasn't quite as easy of a road as maybe we would have expected. He definitely was in peril at multiple points throughout the course of the night. Bert Gunter will come around curve of Parabolica for the final time, and he will take the Think Event 175 at Monza. Brody Gunter with his 3rd win of the season, the 13th of his career in the Venom Truck Series. Jan Van Leer through Parabolica for the final time, looking to take home his 2nd podium of the season, his 1st since the win at Five Flags in round number 2 of the season. JVL back on the podium.
And Holyfield has gotten through on Carver there, further back. Carver's going to be giving it his all here into Parabolica.
Matichek in 3rd. Lockett and Kay will round out the top 5, and this is the battle for 6th. Holyfield needs these points. Carver. Oh, he'll have a little look here to the inside, but Holyfield to the power earlier, and it might be just enough. Holyfield will take home the 6th place finish. Nicely done. 6th top 10 of the season. Carver 7th, Ellison 8th. Palumbo will bring that thing home in 9th. And good on him. And Steve Roman looking to finish in the 10th in the final position on the lead lap, I do believe. Shizettle not too far behind in the 11th. Well, Brady Gunter has made leaps and bounds in the regular season standings just across the last 3 weeks, dating back to the Portland win. He's moved himself from just outside of the cut line up to 2nd in the standings. And Gunter has found his footing, headed into the postseason.
I mean, if that doesn't tell you how close things are, I mean, obviously Gunter's had 2 dominant wins in that stretch, but I mean, for him to be able to jump that far in the standings in just a few weeks. I mean, that tells you what is possible for some of these other drivers as well.
I hate to say it, partner, we were not even close. And by we, I mean me in particular. But both of us, really.
250?
No.
More than that?
Almost double.
Oh, my goodness.
454 total incident points through the field.
Well, if we were the odds makers, we would have lost our butts on that one.
The house would have lost that one. High marks of the night go to John K. with a 40X. Congratulations.
He had the elbows out. There's no doubt about it. He got a top 5 out of it.
Low mark of the night of the drivers that finished the race. Austin Holyfield. 8X. So nicely done. Well, I don't know if Brody is waiting for his teammate or if he's just kind of chilling out here. But either way, we're going to roll into the full finishing rundown here. Unless he's waiting for his other podium finishers to arrive. But Jan's already checked out, and Joshua's on pit road. All right, let's do the full finish rundown anyway. It will be Brody Gunter with the win, Jan Van Leer in second, Joshua Matacek in third, Zach Lockett, John K., your top 5, Austin Holyfield in the 6th position, Lucas Carver in 7th, Paul Ellison in the 8th position, Hayden Palumbo will finish in 9th, and Steve Roman in 10th. Last driver on the lead lap is Kyle Zittel in spot number 11. Joshua Rutherford will finish in 12th. Mark Gossier in 13th. Brantley Gainey in 14th. Tyler Berger will round out the top 15. 2 laps down in 16th for Jordan Journeau. Josh Freed in 17th. Corey Rutherford in 18th. Gary Clark is running at the end of this race in 19th. Garrett Rainey, I believe, gets back onto the track at the end of the night in 20th. Then DNFs for Chad Stearns, Andy DeCano, Jack Watts, Andy Poliski, and Matt Schlosser through the 25th and final position. Let's go and search your podium finishers here tonight. Joshua Matacek will be on another road course podium here this evening. Welcome back and congratulations.
Oh, thanks, guys. That was a long race.
Yes, it was just about an hour and 30 minutes. And you could tell not only were those tires worn out at the end of the race, but these drivers were worn out. That last 15 laps was lots of landmines out there on the track for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Mostly the gravel. I mean, the gravel gets spread. It caught me out a couple times. A couple times almost went completely around. But I mean, a pretty standard race, except for like the first half of the first lap. I'm not sure what happened. I have to go back and look at it, but I mean, like half of the top 6 are just gone instantly. So definitely shook it up. I don't think that I would have had a podium had that not happened. So I mean, definitely still put in the work. Jan was quick, and it was a whole lot of fun to chase him down and try and close that gap up until I told Jan after the race, I was like, I was catching you, was doing good, and then all of a sudden just started collecting slowdowns like trophies. So that was my issue. I couldn't keep it on the track. So
Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on a good run here. I know that part of that, it seemed like you had a good pit entry and weren't too far behind Jan there, but it seemed like maybe something happened. You ended up like maybe 5 or 6 seconds behind him when you came off of pit road. Was it just kind of spun the tires getting out of the box there, or did anything happen to put you kind of behind the 8-ball?
No, so I mean, all technicality, I was right on the 8-ball. Jan gambled with a 2-tire stop, so that's what gave him the advantage on that one. I was real curious as to how it would work. I tried to lay down some super hard laps there at the beginning with 4 freshies and managed to close that gap up to about 2 seconds. And then our tires kind of balanced out, and I was only picking up, a 10th here, 2/10 here. I think once we got into the couple of lap cars there, we got the draft off of a couple of them and helped of sucked me up. Oh no, I was up within half a second at one point, and I would have loved to have tried to duke that one out on track, but just pushed it a little too far, started getting off tracks, and just had to back it off. So wouldn't kill it and tear it up, but I mean, all in all, a good night. I'll gladly take another podium. I feel like Mr. Jared Wishon up here can pretty comfortably make a podium, but that's about it.
I think I tell Jared this every Thursday night too. I think you've got one locked and loaded here pretty soon, I would imagine. So we're looking forward to getting you back up here on a Tuesday night on the Top Step. But good stuff here tonight. Congrats on another podium, and let's get some shout outs in as always.
Thanks as always to my beautiful wife Bailey, and for all the support that she gives, and always watching and everything like that. Thanks to my parents. My mom made some very good chicken spaghetti for dinner, and I think that helped motivate me quite well. But shout out to Nathan Carroll. I know he was watching. He said that he would tune in. So shout out to him and the Wildish team there from MaxV as well.
Alrighty, partner. Good stuff here tonight. We're looking forward to hearing from you again Thursday, but we'll hopefully talk to you again next week at Legacy Phoenix.
Yeah, hopefully so.
Alrighty. We'll go in search for the second time this season. We get to talk to Jan Van Leer at the end of the night. He'll take home the runner-up spots and a hard-fought one at that. Partner, welcome back, and congrats on a great run.
Hell yeah, how about it?
I mean, that was an eventful first lap, to say the least, and things sort of mellowed out there for a while after that. But, I mean, talk about being almost in the wrong place at the wrong time, but I guess getting to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, that first lap was scary, man. I mean, I made sure to go to the bathroom before the race, but I almost had to go again.
Yeah, I would have been right there with you. But then after that, I mean, Joshua caught you there coming into that second stop. It sounds like a little bit of strategy, though, on your part and trying to hold it down after that.
Yeah, I took only left sides on the last stop, tried to save a little track position. I knew he was coming up on me. He could tell he was determined. And, yeah, he was faster after the stop, almost got to me. But, I dug deep. I thought about my hero, Stan Hansen. And, I was just thinking, I got a big fat wife and 9 kids at home, and I got to feed them. So I just put the pedal to the metal and just try to keep it going, man. I really, really, really wanted to finish second.
I mean, we didn't get to see any lariats though. Maybe we'll see those next week at Phoenix, hopefully. But
I dodged the lariat on the first lap.
Yeah, you did. right
I
under
was like
the
the lightning
line.
kid.
Oh, Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on a great run here and a good battle there. I'm kind of curious, was there something that kind of gave you the inkling to make a 2-tire stop and knew that it would work? Because, I mean, really, you only lost time for, consistent time for, I don't know, maybe the first 4 or 5 laps out of the pit stop. And then after that, it seemed like the tires evened out pretty well.
Yeah, I blame that on my nerves more than the tires, honestly. On my first stop, I pushed it as far as I could on the first stop just to see where my tires would be. And I had like 92, 5% on the right. So I figured, the tire differential on the left was more than that, just naturally at the end of the stint. So I thought it'd be fine. And, I've done a lot of these road races where one side tires goes more than the other, and you can really lean on the other side. So I figured it'd be okay. But yeah, that was pretty much it. And, like I said, my nerves were there. I knew Josh was determined, and I just, I was thinking a little too much, I think. And then, once I got into the groove, once he was like right behind me, I really got into it, and I kind of stopped thinking and just kept driving.
Well, I mean, a great performance here tonight gets you a little bit more breathing room to that cut line. I know you want to go postseason racing again here at season number 10.
Absolutely. Yes, I do. I missed out last time. It wasn't great.
Well, you've put together a really good season thus far, a couple of podiums and the win earlier, and I think you're getting hot at the right time. And, we're looking forward to closing out the regular season with you here over the next couple of weeks and get you to that postseason. But in the meantime, let's get some shout-outs for you once again.
Thank you. Well, it's the Thank a Vet race, so I'd like to thank a few vets, starting with Michael Krall. and a couple other good friends of mine, Jimmy Daly and Patrick Resta. So thanks to them and all the other vets out there. Big salute to the USA. Um, Thanks to my team, Hayden and Brantley were there, keeping me calm. And as always, thanks to you guys, the best commentators in the business.
Alrighty, partner. Thank you very much. Thanks for the time. Congratulations. We'll hope to talk to you again next week in Phoenix.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm losing my voice. If you haven't been able to tell through the broadcast, I've been dipping in and out. I think it's finally starting to go. But we've got just enough left to get Brody Gunter up here on the top step. Maybe the expected outcome here tonight, but boy, it was definitely in question at a couple of points during this race, by hook or by crook. Welcome in, congratulations, and yeah, that was quite the first lap, and that was quite the probably 37th or 38th lap. It was all right there in your lap.
It was somewhere around there. I think maybe it was close to the 40, but yeah, if you said the expected outcome, I was probably the one least expecting it, just because I know anything can go wrong, and I'll be honest, if that moment when you're leading by such a big mount, the only thing that can go wrong is you. So I was really just trying to stay calm the whole time. Probably my slowest pit stops ever this race, of coasting at like a nice 38 down pit road and really coasting in the pit road and out. Trying safe. And then lap 1 was not how I wanted to go, losing the lead immediately, then got it back, and then immediately tried to give it away before the chaos down that straight. I don't know what it's called, that straightaway going under the oval. And then I apologize to Garrett. I don't feel like they could have done differently. He kind of like disappeared behind Josh, and I don't think Josh was expecting him to give back the cutting course penalty in the racing line. So he jammed on the brakes to avoid hitting him, and I did not expect Josh to jam them brakes, so I tried to go around, avoid it, but there's not much that I could do, and I couldn't really see what was happening in front of him.
And I mean, outside of that, you've got some lap traffic to work through later in the race, but I mean, there's, for this being a Grade 1 circuit, there's not really a whole lot of places to go if you miss your mark. I mean, you're going to hit some gravel, and then you got to hope that you don't hit one of the barriers.
No, definitely not. It was definitely a lot less lap cars than in Portland. I mean, Portland was lapping a car every single lap. That's why, especially for me. But this one was a lot more calm. I kept making the joke in Discus, everyone's in pairs because you lap 2 cars and then 15 seconds ahead is the next 2, and you lap those 2 and 15 seconds ahead is the next 2. So everyone's in their own kind of pairs. But I feel like the track was very difficult part for racing. I was thankful everyone lap car wise was letting me by and didn't make it too hard on me. But I only would have got 4 incidents this race until the that last incident with Garrett and Josh, which gave me 9. So I actually would have had the lowest incidents in the race. But I'll still take, I think, getting the course at the Grand Slam, the fastest in practice, pole, led every lap, and fastest in the race, if I'm correct.
I believe so.
So, second time leading every lap in a race, so I'll take it.
We got a record setter on our hands, Mr. Matt Williamson. What you got for the race winner?
Yeah, congrats on the race win. I mean, kind of like, you mentioned earlier, when you're that far out front, the only thing that can go wrong is yourself. Well, I mean, when you are that far out front, obviously pretty comfortable. Is there anything that you do to try to keep the focus? Because I could imagine that the mind would drift a little bit when you're out there all by your lonesome.
It's funny how it's not really much of the mind as it's the Discord makes you drift a little. The channel itself, I mean, Paul, I think got to experience it Sunday night in ASRL when you got Sam Baumgart in Discord with you, and you guys even saw how I was laughing at Portland through the what's it called, the car inside cam. That's not me just laughing about just racing. That's trying to laugh through everything that's being said the channel and trying to drive at the same time. That's kind of the partly difficult part, is trying to focus on both of that. But driving by itself, yes, when you're by yourself at the main, especially in tonight's race and Portland, really the only thing that could mess me up is doing something overly aggressive or stupid. So I just tried to minimize that as much as I could, which was why I partly felt it wasn't much of a dominant win as Portland was.
Well, anytime you could bring it home by over 20 seconds, though, you're definitely doing something right. like you said, you got every statistical category here, other than the high mark for incidents, which went to John Kay. Congratulations to him. But regardless, I mean, a great night here, great points night as well. I mean, you've are on your front foot here, I would say, headed into the postseason.
Yes, I agree. So far it's been really good, especially like I said, the road courses. I think ever since I got my first win at Daytona last season, I don't think I've won I don't think I've lost a road course yet. So I'll keep that trend. So far I think 4 in a row. Also doing a good job keeping my trend of getting the same amount of poles as I have wins, as I got a pole tonight and a win. So I like keeping that record, even though it doesn't make any sense. But I think it's cool that I'm consistent with getting poles and wins. But we'll see how the rest of the season goes, and then into the playoff / chase. I don't know what we call it, but whichever it is.
Well, let's get some shout outs in once again here tonight from the top step.
CGI Graphics, Mutt Music Productions, Work in Progress Racing, everyone at Venom tonight for showing up and racing, as well as the admins for putting on the show, and you guys for broadcasting it.
Yes, indeed. That is 13 poles and 13 wins. And 1,637 laps led for Brody Gunter, the winner of the race here tonight at Monza. There you go. That's the career stat line. Congrats, and we'll talk to you again hopefully next week at Phoenix.
Hopefully. Oh, it's throwback week. Yeah, I get to use my throwback.
All right. It was a good night here in Monza. Like you said, it was a long one. Like an hour and 28 minutes and 21 seconds was the time across the stripe for Gunter. Let's wrap this one up and send her home.
Yeah, shout out to all the drivers that showed up and raced here tonight, like Brody mentioned. Shout out for the quite comical amount of incident points as well. I'm sure many of those were just off tracks, but yeah, that is quite the night for the drivers here tonight. So thanks for showing up and trying to wheel it around like we mentioned, that is a long road course race to try and navigate this thing. So they did a good job here tonight. Thanks to everybody that was in the chat, including John Kay, who had the most incident points here tonight. I think 40 was the number, so congratulations to you. Shout out to Bailey, Andy Poliski, Hunter Leach, Matt Schlosser, Nathan Carroll, Lisa Kelly, Eric Breeding, of course, Joshua Rutherford, Robin Matichek, and I believe that was everybody. So thanks for being in the chat, everybody. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this one. There was quite a lot to keep our eyes on there. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and we will see you next week for the old version of Phoenix.
We're excited for the throwback race at a throwback track, 2008 Phoenix International Raceway. Will be on tap. 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time, the usual. Between now and then, we've got 3 races for you. Tomorrow night, the Daredevil Series, live from Legacy, Michigan at 8 o'clock Eastern. Thursday night, the Max V Chase continues into Auto Club. We'll see you at Auto Club for some racing at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday. And it's round number 2, the Dirt 200 Special. Great race in Knoxville last Friday night. Hope to see more drivers and more folks tuning in Friday for what is sure to be the craziest race of the season, Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 in Peevely, Missouri. Hope to see you at I-55 for some bullring action, 100 laps starting at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And that will bring us around to next Tuesday. Hope to see you back here for the throwback race next Tuesday night. Thanks to everybody that was hanging out with us in the chat. Thank you to the drivers. Thank you to the league admins. And thank you to Mr. Matt Williamson as well. That's all we got for you here tonight. Until we meet again from Autodromo Nacional Monza, Tommy Cook saying so long. And congratulations to Brody Gunter, winner of the Think Event 175, presented by Freedom. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.